Alright, so yeah, fucking usually in March and shit, you'll be riding through Detroit. You come through Cass Corridor or the area off Woodward and Cass and shit, whatever the fuck you call it. You come across this crazy ass parade with a bunch of motherfuckers, like, white people, like black people peppered in the crowd and shit. Just a bunch of motherfuckers rocking red and all these crazy costumes, and you seeing all these floats and shit. You probably be like, nigga, what the fuck is this? Because it's right in the middle of the city and shit. Well, I'm going to tell you what the fuck it is. It's the Nain Rouge parade.
To all the names, we say.
Alright, back in the day, Antoine Cadillac, him and his homies and shit was chilling at a party and shit. They like, toasting up and shit, kicking it. And like out of nowhere, a motherfucking fortune teller pop up at that bitch. The motherfucking fortune teller started like reading everybody fortunes and shit, telling them everything they wanted to hear and shit, like, granting their wishes and all that shit. And so then Antoine Cadillac come up to get his fortune teller. And she started telling him like, oh yeah, dog, you gonna find a great city. You gonna be getting this money and everything. And so then he started asking like, shit, is my kids gonna be getting money too? And she like, yeah, you gonna be getting all the money. Your kids gonna be getting the money. But hold on, beware. Beware the motherfucking Nain Rouge. He like, what the fuck is the Nain Rouge? She like, it's this motherfucking creature. If you see this motherfucker, just be cool with it, just be nice to it and all that shit, and you gonna be getting to the money. He like, alright, yeah, whatever and shit. So then, a few years later and shit, after he founded the city, him and his wife was going for a walk in the park and shit, and fucking his wife went on to pick some flowers herself and shit. And while she was picking some flowers herself, she heard some motherfuckers talking bad about the city. Then they said they saw the Nain Rouge. So then she left from picking the flowers and shit and ran to Antoine Cadillac and was like, yo, motherfucker said the Nain Rouge in the city. So like, just, beware of that shit. He like, oh, you talking about that shit that fortune teller was talking about? That ain't nothing, baby. So then the motherfucker started walking off and shit. So then while they was walking off, a little ugly ass dwarf creature just popped up out of nowhere. And it scared the shit out of this nigga Antoine Cadillac. This motherfucker tried to hit it away with a stick and shit. Was like, get away, get the fuck on. So then like, the creature ran off and shit. And the creature was laughing and shit. And so then the motherfuckers went back to the crib. And soon after that, Antoine Cadillac luck took a turn for the worse. And it was because that was the fucking Nain Rouge. After Cadillac first spotted the Nain Rouge, everything he worked for turned to ruin. He lost all his money, and then he lost all his property, so he couldn't leave shit to his kids. Then they sent his ass back to France and locked his ass up. July 30th, 1763, the dwarf was spotted near Detroit River. The next day, Pontiac killed over 60 men during the Battle of Bloody Run. 40 years later, in the spring of 1805, people saw the dwarf walking through the streets of Detroit. On June 11th of that year, a fire burned most of the town. General William Hull, the only officer in American history to be sentenced to death for military incompetence, said he spotted the Nain Rouge grinning at him in 1813. He surrendered Detroit to the British Army. Someone said they saw the Nain Rouge before the riots in 1967. And again, someone said they saw the Nain Rouge climbing a utility pole in 1976. Shortly after that, Detroit experienced the worst ice storm in its history. So every March in Detroit, they have a parade, letting the Nain Rouge know, like, hey, bro, like, we see you, we recognize you and shit, like, fuck it, don't be terrorizing the city.
I do hereby offer the Nain Rouge an invitation to party with the most excellent citizens of Detroit.